Hey guys, so today I'm going to walk you through how to dissect the brachial plexus, and then I'm also going to show you a couple other nerves on the leg and up in the neck. But the brachial plexus, which is up here in the arm, brachial meaning arm, this one's going to take me a little bit longer to show you, and it has several nerves that you need to know. So we're going to get started on that one first. So before you guys get started, know that once you cut a nerve, it basically disappears. So you need to be really, really careful when you're cutting into this brachial plexus not to accidentally cut a nerve that we're supposed to be looking at today. So just be very, very careful. So I'm going to cut just into the arm here. I kind of want to make a line. You're basically going to go from the ribs and up here in the armpit all the way down to the elbow down here. And we want to look at all these nerves that are up here. You're going to have to cut through quite a bit of muscle first. And here I can see I'm already starting to get where the blood vessels are. And you can really use your fingers for a lot of this dissection as well, because the muscle melts away pretty easily. Once again, I want to be careful up here. I have some blood vessels that I want to preserve as well. I'm just going to clean some of this stuff up here. Up here on the side. Take your time when you guys are doing this, because like I said, it's so easy to cut a nerve, because they're not dyed, so they're going to be white, so it's really easy to not see one and then cut it off. So right now I'm just kind of cutting on the top of the arm by the biceps brachii. And then I want to really cut into the bottom part here. Once again, being very, very gentle. Right now I'm just mostly cutting through a lot of muscle to get to the nerves. So that's really why I'm not too worried about cutting a lot of this stuff off, because I'm not there just yet. Not where I need to be just yet. Okay guys, so now that I've cleaned it up a little bit more, I'm starting to see this really big vein here, the brachial vein. So now I know I'm starting to get down to the nerves. So now is when it's really crucial to be careful going through here. I can already see one nerve right here. That's a big nerve right there, so I need to start being really careful to make sure that I don't damage anything. And right now I'm just using a probe to go back through and clean up a lot of this tissue, kind of scratch it away. Okay guys, with a little bit of movie magic, I have now spent a good chunk of time cleaning up my cat's brachial plexus so that I can identify these nerves for you and show them. You're gonna have to take some time to clean this up. That took me a good 20 minutes to get this all cleaned up so that I can figure out which nerve is which. So it's gonna take you some time. So earlier I was saying that the easiest way to identify the nerves is to see where they're going. So the first one that I'm gonna start with is this one right here. It's going directly to the elbow. So this is going to be the ulnar nerve. So right here, this big one. And like I said, you can always tell that's the ulnar because it's going to your point of elbow. And then right off of that, so branches off of this ulnar nerve is the median. So that's this nerve right here. And it's just going just above the ulnar, but these two are there. They do branch off of each other. So we have our ulnar, our medians right here. And then I'm going to show you the radial, which this one's going to go deep. So this one goes deep into the arm. And this one actually, so it's this big deep one right here underneath. And you can see that it goes into the muscle here. And like I said, it goes deep. This is actually what's going to be controlling a lot of your movement in your fingertips. And then here, brachial artery, brachial once again meaning arm. And I did have a big, like earlier I do have that brachial vein that comes through here, but I ended up cutting it and pulling it back so that I can see my nerves a little bit better. And then I'm going to move on to what we call the musculocutaneous. This one also has two different branches, and you can tell up here. So I have one that's going also towards the elbow, and then one that's attaching up here in the biceps. So I have two branches off of that. And then underneath all of this, I have what we have is the axillary. So that's this one right here. And then right next to the axillary is going to be the subscapular. So these two are pretty close together right here. And then right above that, we have the suprascapular, subscapular, suprascapular. And this one is if you've ever heard of Sweeney shoulder and draft horses, so what happens is the supraspinatus muscle also is then pinched, and so then that causes that muscle to die. So suprascapular nerve is up here. So once again, I'll kind of go over these. Hopefully I can kind of stretch out this arm a little better so that you can see them. This ulnar nerve, once again, going to the elbow. The median branches off of that. I have the musculocutaneous, these two right here. Then the axillary and the subscapular are going to be underneath. Then up here, suprascapular. Okay. And then while I'm up here as well, what I'm gonna do is you guys need to find the vagus nerve. And the vagus nerve, if you can find your carotid, this vagus nerve, this white nerve is gonna be right next to the carotid. Vagus up here, and that's controlling a lot of your digestive system and the heart as well. Okay, so I have two more to get through. First, I'm going to go to this femoral nerve, and this one's pretty easy to find. If you can find your femoral artery and vein, that nerve is going to lay right in that group. So here I have my vein. Also in there, I'm going to have an artery as well as the nerve. And then lastly, what we're going to do is flip this cat, is we're going to do the sciatic. And what I want to do is follow along. So we really want to be careful when we go to do the sciatic, because we want to preserve these muscles. So we have obviously one leg left. So when we do the muscles lab, you're going to need something to study. So try and preserve these muscles the best that you can. So what I want to do is I want to go in between the biceps femoris, that's this big muscle right here, and the semitendinosus, which is this one right under here. And you should be able to find kind of where these muscles meet, and that's really where we're going to cut. This is also why you never want to give a shot to, say, a cow right here, because if you go deep enough, you can actually hit your sciatic nerve and that cow will go down. So I'm going to go right in between here. Then what I want to do is kind of find the end of this and go up to the patella. And then basically all I want to do is I'm going to fillet this open right here. So once we have this kind of filleted open, you can kind of clean this up a little bit more. And here's that big sciatic nerve. As the sciatic nerve gets more distal, so going away from the body, it actually does split. And this is going to become what we call the common perineal. And this bottom nerve, bottom of the sciatic, that's actually what becomes the tibial. So this is going to keep running along and go into the bottom of the leg. Okay, so there's the sciatic. Once again, we had the sciatic, femoral on this side. Vagus was up here in the cat's neck, right by the carotid. And then we have the ulnar and median. Those two kind of always go together. Then we have the musculocutaneous, which is right next to that. Okay, then we have the radial that goes deep into the arm right here. Kind of underneath these guys, we have the axillary and subscapular, and then we move up just a little farther, we have the suprascapular. If you guys have any questions, bring them to lab this week, and I will see you there. Thanks.